All right, Monster Truck fans. It's officially time to break the 4-month hiatus, and it is officially time to get back into doing some Monster Truck shows for you all. I have been waiting for this moment for a very long time. I was really just waiting for the right opportunity, and I've been so busy lately that it's been hard to be able to put on these shows, but finally a good opportunity came up. And so I'm very excited that today we are officially returning to the seasoned Monster Truck action. And this year we are trying something brand new, unlike ever before seen here. A new little setup that is going to be determining some pretty major things going into that 2026 season a little bit later on. So, the thing that we are switching up here, we are now starting an all-new thing called the Fall Brawl series, which will have 2 tours, but 1 big ending. So the Fall Brawl series, here, I'll read what we put in the description. This fall, we're doing something brand new. We're introducing the BeamNG Fall Brawl series, which will consist of 2 tours, East and West. Each tour features its own unique lineup of independent drivers who will travel to fairgrounds and speedways across the U.S. with one goal in common: become the champion in Lamar, Missouri. The 16 highest ranking drivers from both tours will face off in one big ending showdown. From there, the highest 3 placing drivers of that event will receive automatic bids to that Christmas Crush event. Of course, that end of the winter, end of the year event that we do into December that really determines most of the 2026 lineup. Well, the highest 3 ranking drivers in the big ending showdown of the Fall Brawl series will get an automatic bid to that, but it doesn't stop there. Furthermore, the driver who wins the event in Lamar, the overall winner of that event, will be the first confirmed competitor in the 2026 Monster Jam Destruction Series. They will get an automatic bid, they will be into that whole tour, and they're going to be the first confirmed competitor. So, it might just seem like, a little fall, independent series, but there's a lot of stakes here, and there's a lot that these drivers need to make sure they're doing right so that they don't miss out. So, yeah. Now, the stakes get even higher. The drivers who do not compete for who do not, qualify for the event in Lamar, that 16 truck event, which that will be 4 drivers, they will have no opportunity to compete in the Christmas Crush event or in the Destruction Series next year. So, definitely a lot of high stakes here, and a lot that these drivers are going to need to be pushing their trucks for. So everything kicks off tonight with the Fall Brawl West series. That lineup consists of Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur, Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken, Matt Pagliarulo and Jester, Tim Hall Jr. Jurassic Attack, Mike Christensen and Vendetta, Dalton Widener and Shell Shocked, Tyler Groth and Velociraptor, Jamie Garner and Overboard, Zach Garner and Wildside, and Cole Venard and the Black Pearl. There is a lot that these drivers really need to be looking out for tonight. A lot of stakes and some pretty heavy competition. But when all is said and all is done, it's time to get into the action. And yeah, that's no more time to waste here. We're going to get right into it with Monster Jam, or sorry, not Monster Jam Racing. Now this series, this Fall Brawl series, it is tied into, of course, that Monster Jam 2026 Destruction Series, but it is not a Monster Jam tour. Do not be fooled. It's just tied in a little bit there. So it's time to get into some Monster Truck Racing action. Now, as you know here on these events, we do a timed racing setup. So the way that's going to work is Tyler Groff here is going to come and demonstrate and then put down his actual racing pass. So he's going to get a little bit of practice in here. So we're just going to take this truck over here, and it's going to start over in that red lane. So we're actually going to be using both racing lanes for this. So it's going to kick off over here in that red lane up to this line. Truck will be stopped. They'll go. They'll take it around this bend over here. Take it all the way down to the end of the track. Full speed. You don't want to miss out on anything there, but you're going to have to brake fast enough to take it this way. This little car jammer, you're going to have to go up and over. Then you're going to take it to the right. Take it all the way down that long straightaway. Over that last turn. And finally, it's going to end with a cross over that blue lane. So it's a pretty long racing course, but these 10 competitors are really going to need to show up and show out if they want to have that chance of competing on the big floor next year. Alright, so we're going to get things underway now with Tyler Groth and the Velociraptor, a new hire here for Team Throttle Monster. Of course, typically we would see this guy on his own team, you know, Mirror Image Racing, but this year he's stepping in for Team Throttle Monster, changing things up a little bit. And we're going to get underway with this first racing pass. This is going to really set the tone here. These 10 competitors coming up first. Tyler Groth, Velociraptor. Off the line, time begins. It's really going to come down to how well you can take all these different turns. There's a lot of elements to this track, and you really have to be able to master all of them. So, nice consistency right here from Tyler Groth, taking it over that jammer. Don't flip over. Oh my goodness, this is turning into freestyle right here. Tyler Groth nearly flipping it over and racing. This is definitely going to hurt his time. Let's see what he can do now. Gonna have to make up some ground. Very nice last turn. Let's take it to that finish line. And it is 40.09 seconds. 40.09 seconds for Tyler Groth and the Velociraptor. Again, 40.09. So a very, very high time there, which it's not. Don't get it mistaken. This isn't freestyle. This isn't skills. You do not want high numbers. And Tyler Groth just put down one of the highest numbers you could possibly get in racing. So, very tough break for Tyler Groth. You know what, though? Sometimes that's really your luck of the draw. He's going to have to really pull through later on, though. Because, I mean, unless every other driver struggles as badly as he did, that's really going to set him back in points. And it's really going to hurt his chances if he wants to make it into the big series next year. Well, fans, that's enough talking. Let's get back into some racing. We're going to switch teams here. We have 3 different teams competing at this event. Team Throttle Monster, Team Tomfoolery, but coming up next, the head of the 3rd team, the head of that team Overboard. This is Jamie Garner. With that beautiful blue body back on the truck. You'll love to see that. Let's get this set up here, Jamie. Looking a little bit lost out there. Alright, backing it up. This is going to determine quite a bit. Jamie has not competed on the Destruction Series yet. And if he wants to make it his first time, he's going to have to really get fast here. He's off to a great start, though. I'll have to give him that. Careful, Jamie. We don't want to see another near rollover. Bringing a lot of speed into this turn. Looking very good. Can he keep this consistent? He is flying down that straightaway. Around the last turn, he cuts it close and perfect. If he can just get this last jump down now, flying over the finish line. Don't crash it, Jamie. Oh, man. Straight into that barrier. Fortunately, that is exactly what those are for. Kept him from going into those porta potties down there. And Jamie Garner and Overboard, not exactly known to be a racer, but tonight he sure was fast, putting down a 29.58. 29.58. That is 11 seconds just about faster than Tyler Groth's time. So, 2 big stories developing from that. You know, Jamie's looking great. Tyler's looking not so great. So, these different scores, these different times, yeah, they might seem insignificant, but we're really going to have to track them as this tour goes on, because the end result of this whole Fall Brawl series is whether or not they get to compete on the biggest floors in all of the country, and I think that's a pretty big deal. So, right now, Jamie Garner looking good, but keep in mind, we're only 2 races in, so we don't even know if that time is going to hold up or not. And we're just going to have to really wait and see as we're getting ready for that next competitor to hit the track. We're waiting on it, fans. Don't worry. The action is still plenty more to come as we await this next competitor. Let's see. It might be time to get back underway here soon. Whenever this next competitor's ready to hit the track. Having some truck issues down on the track, but I'm sure they will be resolved shortly. Alright, fans. Well, good news. Those issues have been resolved, and we are ready to get back into the action. So, coming up next, we have Dalton Widener in Cell Shocked. Gonna get this truck fired up. And he is under some serious pressure here. He's not like these other drivers who are, you know, all campaigning their well-known identities. This is, you know, Dalton's brand new ride. This is his truck. This is his passion. So he's definitely under pressure to live up to it. 1 second here, fans. We have something we gotta situate. Something not looking right with this truck. I'm going to try and figure that out very quickly. Something wrong going on with our stream a little bit. Let's get that fixed up. One second here, fans. It looks like we're about ready to resume the action. Dalton Widener and Shell Shocked again under some added pressure to live up to this new truck that he wants to make the next big independent machine, make that next big throttle monster identity. Well, it's all going to come down to this pass right here. Fired up. And time begins for Dalton Widener and Shell Shock. You might realize that chassis is a little bit thinner than the others out here, so it's going to switch up how his truck performs. Everything about that chassis a little different. Taking it a little rough over that jammer, but he adapts very nicely. Full speed now, flying down this last stretch. Takes that turn nice and tight, goes out a little bit. He's going to get his things back together, and it's going to be another great time on the board. This one for that Shell-Shocked machine. So Dalton Widener really trying to get his name in the books. And fans, your time to beat Jamie Garner, 29.58. Your time for Dalton Widener and Shell-Shocked, 29.21. Dalton Widener officially is your new leader here in the timed racing competition. Dalton, as you know, or I guess as we've said, not exactly known for his racing, but nonetheless, he gets it done here. And you know, he is going to be a pretty fast racer. You know, that's something Team Throttle Monster is always good at. In fact, this season he actually had a lot of racing wins. So I guess I was thinking a little more of 2024 there, because this 2025 season he was actually looking pretty fast. But on that note, still have 7 more competitors to go here in the timed racing competition. Now this driver coming up here next, he has gotten to that point where he's just about a veteran, as he celebrated 10 years of his decorated career this year. Now he gets to take his very own truck and his very own team with his family here to Arizona to try to put on the best show and the best races they all can. Fans, give it up. Coming up next, it's Matt Pagliarulo and Jester. Some team tomfoolery representation here. We got 3 tomfoolery drivers, so almost the entire fleet competing here on West. So that's going to really put some pressure on them as they want to get into that big series next year. So Matt Pagliarulo and Jester stationed ready at the line. Let's go racing. Matt off to a nice start. Can he get around this turn? Yes, he can. Oh, that van stack looking a little bit in the way, though. Nice pacing around here. Getting a little crooked. Gets it back, though. A lot of pressure coming into this last straightaway. Let's see how he takes this turn. Oh, he's going to oversteer, underdo the turn. He gets a crazy save out of it. Now, how is he going to bring this to an end? Will he be able to take that top spot away? He's going to accelerate, crosses that line, and unfortunately, Matt Pagliarulo and Jester, not his lucky day today. Time to beat is a 29.21, and the time for Matt Pagliarulo, a 40.77, which actually officially puts him in last place tonight here in racing. So a very tough break for Matt, you know. He wanted to show up and show out here as he's doing some of these shows a little further away from home, but unfortunately, you really have to be on your A game at all times if you want to take home some wins on this series, and Matt Pagliarulo not quite able to do that. His save would have looked great in freestyle, cool in skills, but this is racing, and you don't really want to be doing all that crazy maneuvers in this competition. This is about being tight and fast. Matt not able to get that done. Maybe this next competitor can. We're going to take it back to that team overboard. With this guy right here, Cole Vennard, and the Black Pearl. So Cole, he's getting situated here. A lot of pressure as he's trying to join his teammates at that top of the leaderboard. He's going to go green now. Cole, another one of those people that, although he's a very high-performing, decorated driver, I cannot say that racing is usually his strong suit, but he is looking very fast here in Arizona. Taking it over that jammer. Perfect execution. If he can keep this down the straightaway, we might be seeing a new leader. Final turn, and he nails it. He is accelerating full speed ahead down the finish line. Oh my goodness, what a finish for Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl. He goes flying over that finish line, and it is a time of a 29.39. 29.39. It's not going to be enough for him to take the lead over Dalton Widener. However, it puts him in second place, which in any competition is a great spot to be. So I'm sure he is thrilled with his performance right now. And if he can keep this up, we might just be seeing Cole Vennard at the top of that overall leaderboard later tonight. But that's going to come down a lot to those other competitions we still have coming up. But those are for later. For now, we're going to focus on getting the second half of racing in. And coming up next, moving it back to tomfoolery, is Nick Pagliarulo. So tomfoolery here. Not their first time in Arizona. You know, they've done some shows in Glendale. They just did some shows in Havasu. Now they're taking it down to Tucson, so switching it up a little bit. Trying to perform on their A game. Nick Pagliarulo cracking. He's at the line station, ready to go. So, I would say I'm kind of speaking about all of tomfoolery when I say they're great drivers, but racing is not their competition. Nick Pagliarulo may be proving that right there. He's looking a little bit rough in that first turn. Huge on the jammer. Oh no, he's caught. Can he adjust to it? He can adjust to it. But how is he going to get this last stretch in and finish with a good time? Well, he's going to take that last turn much more nicely than the other couple of turns. He is getting a little out of whack, but when all is said and all is done, Nick Pagliarulo recovers better than really any of those other drivers with major struggles. and he puts down a time of a 38.81. So not a good time really by any means. But regardless of that, I gotta say he was looking pretty smooth by the end of that run. So definitely shown how a little bit of correction can turn your night around for Nick Pagliarulo, as he turns that big mistake into an opportunity to keep himself out of last place, moves himself into third to last, which not a great spot, but certainly not the worst spot he could be in. Every point is going to be counted on this series. Coming up next, we're going to move it back to Team Throttle Monster, who have proven themselves pretty fast so far today. And coming up next, it's Tim Hall Jr. and Jurassic Attack. Tyler Groff had some rough luck, while Dalton Widener holds the lead. So where will Team Throttle Monster land with their third effort? Well, that is what we're here to figure out right now. Tim Hall Jr. station ready at the line. We go green. Nailing this first turn. Getting a little bit far and wide right there, but he's going to adjust well. A little bit too much brakes here in this turn, though. That's really going to hurt his flow here with this run. Nice over that jammer, though. It's looking a little squiggly, but maybe that's just going to be used to slingshot him into that turn. Full speed ahead. Can he get it done? He goes flying over that finish line. We have seen quite a few drivers finish that way so far tonight. Tim Hall Jr. not the first, maybe not even the last. And he's actually going to put down a wonderful time, a 29.32. Sorry, my voice is a little cracky right now. I need to get some water after racing's over. But a 29.32 for Tim Hall Jr. And that's going to move him up into second place. So, Team Throttle Monster dominating racing right now. They currently hold first and second place. Now, will they be able to take the whole podium? Well, there is still one more Team Throttle Monster driver left to come out to try and test that. But there's also some non-Team Throttle Monster drivers getting ready to come out here who are also going to be taking their stab at a good racing time. So, all these things to consider. We're down to the final three competitors, and right now, Dalton Widener, Tim Hall Jr., and Cole Vennard round out that top three. Well, let's get back into the racing as we move it to the third and final tomfoolery driver left to compete here in racing. This is Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur. He's going to take it over back to that red lane. A lot at stakes here. Mike wants to make it into the big field. Didn't quite get the opportunity this year, but maybe this is his chance. It's all going to come down to this race right here. I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but I've been saying this time and time again. Every point counts on this series, and Mike probably just lost quite a few right there in that one little slip up. Every single turn you take in racing right now could have huge implications for your 2026 series, and unfortunately Mike Pagliarulo, furthering that comment I had earlier about how Team Tomfoolery is not exactly the fastest when it comes to this competition. Mike trying to adjust well, and I'll give him credit where credit's due. He did do a pretty good job at catching back up with himself. Made two major mistakes in that run, but he was able to get the time down to a 33.69, which, when all is said is done, this is the same thing I said for Nick. It's not going to put him in a great position per se, but it keeps him out of last place, and that alone is going to be a pretty big deal. In fact, it actually keeps him out of the bottom three. So as long as he stays out of those bottom three, the window is still wide open for him to compete in Lamar later this fall. So Mike's still in a fairly okay position, but I wouldn't say he's comfortable in that spot. He's definitely got some work to do in the next couple competitions. Now, on that note, fans, we're officially down to the final two competitors, and coming up next, closing things out for Team Overboard, it's Zach Garner and Wildside. Now, Zach is the only driver in this field who is a world racing champion. In fact, he's the only world champion in this field at all. So he has some serious pressure on him to perform well right here, and maybe he will, as he is off to a very nice start. Drifting through this turn. Ooh, a little bit too drifty. He's going to get way out of whack there, but maybe he'll recover well, and yes, he does. He's looking very fast. Now, how does he take his last turn? Well, that car right there messed him up, but he's going to recover quick. Let's see how he finishes, flying over that line. Oh, man. Zach getting into all sorts of situations, and it's not going to be enough. A 29.57, hurting that time a little bit. Probably that drifting a little too far in that first turn. However, it's not going to put him in the lead. That does keep him in the top 5 right now. So Zach in a pretty comfortable spot, especially since I think he'll do a pretty good job in these next couple competitions. So no real concerns right now for Zach Garner. He was nice and fast, just had a couple places that he needed to improve on. And on that note, there is only one driver remaining here in racing, and his name is Mike Christensen. He is the owner of Team Throttle Monster, who are currently dominating that leaderboard. Will Mike settle everything and lock in Team Throttle Monster's place as a dominant team? If Mike places in first, second, or third right now, Team Throttle Monster will hold all 3 spots on the podium. But it all comes down to this run from Mike Christensen. He's off the line. Nice through this first turn. Very good execution. And Mike is looking perfect right now. Good speed through that turn. Getting a little hung up on that jammer, but he adapts quickly. Try to straighten this out, though. Oh my goodness, Mike nails that last turn. We have not seen a single driver take that so cleanly. Mike flies over the finish line, and you cannot make this stuff up. Mike just put down the only sub-29 time in the entire racing competition. I am not kidding when I say that. Mike Christensen just put down 28.80, which makes him your racing winner. Absolutely unbelievable. Team Throttle Monster, I was saying it all night, they have that chance to own the entire podium here in racing, and that is exactly what they get done. Right now, Mike Christensen, Dalton Widener, and Tim Hall Jr. are your top 3. That's absolutely unbelievable. Well, fans, now it's time to calculate some of those points, and I'm going to go get myself hydrated while you fans get a little bit of an intermission, and we switch up into the Skills Challenge. So, fans, we'll be back shortly after this quick break. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good news. It's officially time to get back underway with some monster truck action. Now, the leaderboard is looking pretty shocking coming out of racing here. Team Throttle Monster, as we just stated, is absolutely dominating the competition, but actually, we have some drivers pretty low down that have not had many big opportunities yet, and really I was expecting them to push harder with this being their big opportunity. However, the biggest story coming out of racing is that every single member of Team Tomfoolery is in the bottom four right now. So it is safe to say that Matt, Nick, and Mike all really need to pick it up if they want to feel comfortable coming out of this week and moving on into the future of the series. They really need to get it figured out. Now, with all that considered, it's time to move into this next competition. Now, there's two ways we can do this. When we have a participating audience, we sometimes do a half and half where we split the scoring between the expert judges and the fan judges. Otherwise, it is a fully expert scored competition. So, let's get into this skills challenge. No further ado, coming up first, here for some serious redemption after racing, currently sitting in last place, it's Matt Pagliarulo and Jester. So here in skills, these drivers order competing. Wow, that was hard to spit out. The order of competition here in the skills challenge is based off of the driver's performance in racing, and then after that it'll be based off overall points going into freestyle. So Matt placing last in racing is opening the skills challenge. Only 2 hits here. A very nice wheelie though, and he's gonna walk it all the way down to the end of the course. So a nice slap wheelie kicking off this challenge, this competition. You know, it might not be the most eye-catching thing, but starting off with success is still gonna be a really big deal here for Matt Pagliarulo, as his first hit really had just about nothing going for it. So, what is he gonna get done here for the second move? Well, let's wait and see. Matt Pagliarulo under some pressure, trying to get some Team Tomfoolery representation on the Destruction Series, since they have yet to do that. But can he get it done? We're going to have to wait and see. Bringing some big speed down that way. Big sky wheelie and a little bit of a save. So Matt Pagliarulo and Jess are getting nice and crazy here in the skills challenge tonight. Parking it up on that little fountain. So let's see, there are 2 little wheelies, nothing too extraordinary coming out of either of them. But if it wowed the crowd, if it wowed the judges, that's going to be the biggest factor. Keep in mind, there is no score to beat. That performance set the bar tonight. And the score for Matt Pagliarulo and Jester is a 6.381. 6.381. Not currently enough to get on any notable spot in a leaderboard. However, it is still setting the bar regardless. So, Matt Pagliarulo getting us off to a nice start. Coming up next, please welcome to the track, Team Throttle Monster Zone. Making his return to the big stage, Tyler Groff and Velociraptor. Tyler leaving racing with only 2 points. He again has some pretty serious work to do. Every point counts on this series, and that same thing goes for when you get no points. Every single point you don't get is going to impact you. So, Tyler now under some added pressure to make something happen. Let's see what he's going to try and attempt here. Give it up, fans. A huge sky wheelie for the Velociraptor. Very nice for Tyler Groth. Sticking it on the rear end. He has one more hit to go. Now, Matt had 2 solid hits. So, that has established the expectation that every other one of these drivers will also get 2 solid hits on the board. So again, even more added pressure with that now taken into consideration. Can Tyler Groth make something happen? We're going to have to wait and see right here. See us setting this up here. Revving it up. Let's see what he can do. Onto that pod. Hammering it into reverse. Gonna pull it all the way back over there. And he is gonna set it back down. So Tyler Groth, probably the most complex move we have seen so far. As he takes a stoppie and turns it into a bit of a moonwalk, into a bit of a save. Losing the hood in the process, so that truck might not be looking so pretty in freestyle. Definitely, though, a big improvement from his performance in racing. And fans, on that note, scores are locked. The score for Tyler Groth, Velociraptor, is a 7.915. Sorry, 7.195, not 7.915. Two very different scores. It is a 7.195. So, still a bit of a struggle there for Tyler Groth to get a super high score, but he still has a pretty decent score on the board, so depending on how these other competitors do, he might be able to hold out. Coming up next to the track, let's move it over to some team tomfoolery action. Coming up next, Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken. Well, from one team to the next and back to the other team, this series has all kinds of surprises like that. Now, what can Nick do with this track? Well, he's currently scoping it out, looking for an answer to that question. See what he has in mind here, trying to get something positioned. And he's just going to go for it right here, skying it. And a very nice slap wheelie into another slap wheelie. Make it 3. Nick Pagliarulo giving us a little bit of a creative move. You know, Nick Pagliarulo and Joe Foley, really the only drivers making that kind of move happen. So, love to see it when they hit the track, because you always know they're going to have that kind of surprise ready for you. Nick has one more hit to go. He's trying to follow that up. Finding that concrete barrier. What can he do? Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken. That's going to hurt him right there. He is not going to get a successful second hit at all. A rare mistake for Nick, honestly. But regardless, it is what it is. Nothing he can do about it now. So with all of that said, scores are locked. Score to beat 7.195 for Tyler Groth and Velociraptor. The score for Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken is a 4.923. 4.923. Not a high score. And you know, I hate to say it, but we can't say that's surprising because he just was not performing up to standard. And you know, even for Nick Pagliarulo, that wasn't quite up to expectations. So, tough break. They'll be back in freestyle, which I would say for every tomfoolery member is really their star competition. But until then, we still have 7 more competitors to go here in skills. And coming up next, Mike Pagliarulo in Excalibur. He's coming out here. Looking to make something happen. Really a few different options with this track. Which one will he choose? Well, it looks like he might have an idea in mind here. Looking at that red pod. Getting this set up. Putting it into reverse. Back into forwards. Let's see this. Oh no! Can he get this back? He's on those sidewalls, but what a tough break. Mike Pagliarulo is going to have worse luck than Nick, worse luck than Matt. So, my apologies, a rare mistake there by every margin. Like, that is just marginally worse than you would ever expect for Mike Pagliarulo. Showing of skills there, but he was going for a risky move and he had a risky outcome. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the way it's going to go. Scores are locked. Score for Mike Pagliarulo in Excalibur is a 2.917. 2.917, putting him in last place right now. Well, fans, it was a tough break there for Mike Pagliarulo. A really rough night for tomfoolery so far, but we're going to get the action back rolling here with Jamie Garner and Overboard. Jamie went crazy at the end of his race, crashing into the barriers. But you know what? That's what the barriers are there for at the end of the day. He's got that truck in tip-top shape, and he's going to get his action back underway. So what will he set up for? The question we have been asking just about every driver tonight. He's going to take it over to that concrete block. We have seen that ramp giving some drivers some trouble. Looks like he's trying to do something with it. Might be a little bit caught on it. Yeah, he's definitely caught on that thing. Able to reverse off of it, and I think he's going to change his mind there. Not too much he could do there. So let's see what Jamie Garner and Overboard has in store. Keep in mind, Jamie, it's got to be nice for him to be back in his own truck again. That beautiful blue Overboard truck. Now, what can he do with it? Oh, no. Oh, wow. Jamie Garner making the most of it. He's going to try and combo this up as well. Oh, my goodness. Jamie Garner and Overboard. Nothing quite worked out for him right there until he just decided to throw caution to the wind and have fun with it. And I think it really paid off for him. Still has one more hit to go here. See what he's trying to line up for right now. Might be eyeing that concrete barrier again. And it looks like he is. So let's see what he's going for. Oh, he was setting up for a wheelie. Nice, taking it with him, slapping it down, and he is going to walk that wheelie all the way down to the end of the track. So Jamie Garner and Overboard having some fun with it. Best wheelie of the night so far with that nice combination on it. Jamie Garner switching things up in the Overboard. Score to beat 7.195. That was from Tyler Groth in the Velociraptor. The score for Jamie Garner and Overboard is a 7.319, which means your new leader in the Skills Challenge, Jamie Garner in Overboard. Well, coming up next, from one Garner to the next, it's Zach Garner and Wildside. And this has actually just made me realize something. Tyler Groth got last place. Then the next three drivers were all of tomfoolery. Now these three drivers are all Overboard. And the last three drivers will all be Team Throttle Monster. So there's actually some pretty clear differences in how well each team performs in racing, and I think that's something pretty notable there. So Zach Garner and Wildside now getting ready for this first hit. Oh, man. Zach Garner fumbling that first hit. You can really not afford to be missing out on hits right now. Such a high-stakes event. But Zach Garner, you know, he's an all-star driver. You expect him to perform well, so it's definitely weird to see him struggling like that. But those barriers have been giving everyone trouble, so I'd be surprised if we see many other drivers attempt moves on him. Zach Garner and Wildside getting his things back together. And this is looking nice for him, losing the hood just like Velociraptor did. So what can Zach do here in the Wildside? That is now going to become the question. You know, this is a high-stakes tour. You really need to do more than just a basic maneuver if you want to take home the win. Zach Garner and Wildside, he is on one BKT tire. Oh my goodness. One tire save attempt plows into that ramp and he's shut off. He's a little too close to that wall. We don't want to put any fans at risk. What a move for Zach Garner. The story of it, though, is quite frankly, he did not end up on all four BKT tires. Sometimes when there's a crazy move like that, the way he landed it might seem minute, but it's still pretty important in the skills challenge to actually land your move and show that you have the skill to keep it under control. Regardless, Zach Garner went absolutely haywire. And, you know, I love to see drivers doing stuff like that. Score to beat, 7.319. Jamie Garner and Overboard. The score for Zach Garner. Wildside is a 7.928. Put him at the top. Zach Garner and Wildside. So despite neither attempt being particularly successful, that crazy move there, ending out that second hit, was enough to put Zach at the top of the leaderboard for now. There's still 4 drivers left to try and knock him out, but it's still pretty significant to see him up there after having such rough luck. Well, let's keep it going here. Coming up next, that last Overboard Motorsports driver, as we had been talking about. This is Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl. Cole Vennard, of course, coming out here, looking to make something happen. He was looking nice and fast in racing, but of course, Team Throttle Monster had other plans. Now, what can Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl do? The question we have been asking about every driver so far. How are they going to make themselves stand out here? Because this is a pretty big deal, this series. Well, Cole looks like he's got an idea. Setting up here on this blue ramp. He might be going for a wheelie right here. A wheelie of some sort. And Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl. Very nice execution. You can see him actually moving those top couple BKTs. Waving to the fans. He's going to try and combo this up now. Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl. Another one of those drivers not really known for the skills challenge. But man, if you showed me that, I would think he was a skills world champion. Wonderful execution for Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl. One more hit left to go, and he's just going to go for this. A nice bicycle. So Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl getting it done despite all those struggles. So you'll love to see a driver come out here and get crazy like that. Cole Vennard pushing the envelope for what he's capable of. And you know, I love to see drivers do something a little out of their comfort zone like we just saw for Cole Vennard. So, score to beat his own teammate Zach Garner and Wildside with a 7.928. The score for Cole Vennard, the Black Pearl, is an 8.539. Put him at the top. Cole Vennard once again finds himself dominating the leaderboard. Now, he is not in first place, but he's definitely stayed the most consistent, and consistency is key when you're looking to become that overall winner. We're going to move it into this next competitor here. We're down to the final 3 here in the Skills Challenge. Coming up next, Team Throttle Monster Zone, Tim Hall Jr. and Jurassic Attack. Now, if anyone in this lineup has this competition figured out, it's Tim Hall Jr. He absolutely knows his skills, and I'm sure he will not be afraid to demonstrate them here tonight. Getting set up for this first hit. Let's see what he can do. Oh no! Tim Hall Jr. I actually have some intel. What happened there is coming onto the top of that ramp that was supposed to shift into reverse, but instead it actually just didn't shift at all. The truck stalled, maybe some transmission issues, I'm not too sure. But whatever the case, Tim Hall Jr. does not go into reverse when he needs to. And that really badly is going to hurt his score here. One more hit to go. Now, if he can get something done on this second hit, maybe we can find him in podium. But he's going to have to really get it done. And again, reverse giving him trouble. Yeah, fans, we actually have word right now. He's trying to shift into reverse, and it is just not working out for him. So, fans, give it up for Tim Hall Jr. I guess he has some serious issues he's got to go figure out behind the scenes. And on that note, scores are locked. Score to be 8.539 for Colvinar the Black Pearl. The score for Tim Hall Jr. Jurassic Attack is a 5.827. Gonna hurt him really badly here in that overall points chase. 1 second here, fans. Gonna have to try and figure out what that issue was with Jurassic Attack. I'm not too sure what the issue we're having is. Alright. Yeah, so we're getting word from the pits. It is a transmission issue, and fans, I'm not making this up for show quality or anything. Genuinely, there were efforts being made to put that truck in reverse, and it wasn't going in reverse. That's not some sort of setup. There were some genuine truck issues going down right there, and hopefully those will be figured out. But on that note, we're going to keep things going here in skills. Only 2 drivers remain. Coming up next, Dalton Widener and Shell Shocked. If Dalton can perform well, the door is wide open for him to become your skills winner and your overall leader. But he's going to have to perform well, and honestly, a lot of drivers haven't been so far. However, we're going to have to see what he can do here as he's setting this up. A very nice start there for Dalton Widener and Shell Shock. Shifted into reverse very soon into that attempt, and he goes over. Unbelievable. The bad luck continues on tonight. Dalton Widener and Shell Shocked, a rare mistake, sets up for a pretty typical moonwalk and immediately tips that truck onto its lid. We never see stuff like that for him. Something is going on with these Throttle Monster trucks, and they are not performing up to standards. On that note, scores are locked, and your score for Dalton Widener and Shell Shock is a 3.827. 3.827. Well, fans, only 1 competitor remains here in the Skills Challenge, and I honestly don't know what's happening, but reverse really giving a lot of these drivers trouble. So just some serious transmission issues or something going on for the whole field out here. Let's see if this driver will suffer a similar fate, or if he can get something done tonight. This is Mike Christensen and Vendetta. Mike, no stranger to putting something crazy down. Let's see what he can do, though. Mike Christensen and Vendetta setting up here. Oh, man. Going in for a wheelie, and it is not going to go as planned. Another thing. Hold on here, fans. Mike's truck does not sound like it is finding that second gear. I don't know what's going on right now. But the shifters in these trucks and the gearboxes and everything is just way out of whack. Regardless, one more hit for Mike. Let's see what he can get done. Setting up, one more hit to go here. He's onto those front two BKTs. Mike has slowly been improving on these moves. And that same issue is going to haunt Mike Christensen as well. He is not able to find that reverse gear. I don't know what's happening with these competitors, but they're all having some pretty serious struggles with their transmissions. And that's going to be a little bit of a big deal as we proceed on with tonight's event. We're going to see if we can get that figured out, fans. Again, I'm being 100% real right now. I don't know what's happening. These are very, very rare issues to be having. Evidently, something's not going right. But on that note, scores are locked for Mike Christensen and Vendetta. Score to beat belongs to Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl with an 8.539. The score for Mike Christensen, Vendetta, is a 7.828. Not enough for that top spot. Going to put him a little bit towards the middle of the pack. Nonetheless, setting the bar tonight. Or I guess not setting the bar, but finishing the bar. So, on that note, Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl, something you're not used to seeing, he is officially your skills winner. I wouldn't expect to say that, but here we are. So, fans, hope you all enjoyed this skills challenge, but we're going to have a little bit of a transition here as we get ready for freestyle. So, fans, don't go anywhere. Freestyle coming up short. Alright, fans, I hope you enjoyed that little intermission. However, it is time to get back into the monster truck action. Now, before we do anything, we have some pretty big points implications to cover here that could really mix up the season. We're going to cover the whole overall point standings right now from top to bottom. Currently in the series lead, we have Mike Christensen and Vendetta. Second place, Cole Bernard, the Black Pearl. Third place, Zach Garner, Wildside. Fourth place, we have a tie for Tim Hall Jr. and Jamie Garner. Sixth place, Dalton Widener, Shell Shocked. Seventh place, Tyler Groff, Velociraptor. Tie for eighth place, Matt and Nick Pagliarulo. And dead last place, Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur. Now, I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised. I thought Mike would at least be, fifth to last, but Mike Pagliarulo currently sitting at the very bottom, and on the opposite end, it's actually just a scale of Mikes here. Mike Christensen is currently leading the series. Mike Pagliarulo is currently at the bottom, and Mike Pagliarulo is 13 points out of the lead, which when we're only 20 points in and you're 13 behind, there's a pretty serious issue there. So we're going to have to wait and see how this story continues to unfold as the night goes on. But that is enough said, fans. It's time to get into freestyle. Coming up first here for freestyle, we were just talking about it. Sitting in last place, looking to sit in first place at the end of this competition, Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur. Let's see what he can get done here. As you can see at that bottom right, a brand new feature here on the BeamNG series. We now have a visual timer, so his 2 minutes are underway. Coming off of that first hit. He's struggling to find his flow right off the bat, I will say that. He's looking a little bit lost at some parts during this run. However, we are only 15 seconds in, and Mike Pagliarulo is wasting no time to go big, and he is onto those front two BKT tires. So Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur ready to go big, not here to play. Keeping that big air going. Oh my goodness, he might be going over. Unless he can pull this back. And it looks like Mike Pagliarulo, some rough luck tonight. He's going to leave a minute 10 on the clock. So what a tough break. Mike Pagliarulo could not figure it out tonight in Arizona. And the score for that freestyle run is going to be a 3.178. A 3.178. So very tough break there for Mike Pagliarulo. He cannot get it figured out tonight. And putting down one of the lowest freestyle scores that you ever really see in Monster Jam. Typically those are in the threes, the lowest ones. And, well, that was one of them. So, Mike Pagliarulo has some serious work to do in the next show if he wants to have any hope at having a good season. But at this point, it might be too late. I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. But Team Tomfoolery isn't done yet, fans. Coming up next, please welcome Matt Pagliarulo, Jester. Now, remember what I was saying about how the drivers seem to be very factioned out? Hold on, fans. It sounds like we might be having some more transmission issues. Fans, I do not know what this problem is. But these drivers are having some big difficulties. 1 second here, fans. I don't know what's happening, but this is something we really need to get figured out here if this event's going to go on. We're going to have to take a look here. Alright, fans. It looks like we have our issues figured out. So sorry for all these pauses, fans. These drivers are just all having some pretty big gearbox issues, but it looks like we have them all figured out now. Oh no, fans, I may have spoken too soon. Well, we're gonna have to make do with what we have. We tried to let those tech officials get down there and figure out the issue with Jester, but every solution we tried to come to just wasn't quite working out. So he only has first gear for this freestyle. And it is going to be a big, big blunder. The Pagliarulo's not able to figure it out. Matt Pagliarulo goes over. Man, fans, I really do apologize. I do not know why this is an issue right now. I genuinely have tried so many different things to figure out why this whole gearbox issue is going down, but I'm really not too sure. Well, coming up next, we have Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken. And it looks like his truck is performing okay. So hopefully we'll be able to get in one good run in some competition here tonight. Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken getting underway with freestyle. Let's see what he can get done here. Oh man! Nice save for Nick Pagliarulo. Team Tomfoolery has really been needing something like that tonight. He's gonna pull off another one. Wow. So we're just getting straight into the action right now for Nick Pagliarulo. After a very rough night for Team Tomfoolery in every competition, this has got to be a breath of fresh air to see this amazing freestyle going down for Nick Pagliarulo. We're only 40 seconds in, and I already think this is going to be our winning freestyle run if he can keep this up. Oh my goodness. Up and over. Nick Pagliarulo, I don't know what's gotten into this guy, but this run is looking incredible. Now, we might be seeing some sway bar issues in the rear end. That truck is leaning funny. Now, it's up to Nick Pagliarulo if he wants to make that the end of his run or not. But it will definitely impact performance. You see that truck being launched to the side. He goes up and over again as he brings that run to an end. He leaves 35 seconds on the clock. What a run. Nick Pagliarulo. Absolutely killer freestyle. The definition of ragged edge. He had a crazy wow moment in just about every perceivable second right there. Score to beat 3.178 for Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur. The score for Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken is an 8.378. A big score, maybe a little bit low. But however you look at it, you got to admit, that was a wonderful freestyle run. And Nick Pagliarulo just got some big points on the board for sure. Well, fans, it's been a crazy start to the action so far. Some drivers had awful luck. Nick Pagliarulo just had amazing luck. How will this competition continue to go on? Well, we're going to have to wait and see as the night goes on. Fans, coming up next, give it up. Tyler Groff, Velociraptor. Hold on, fans. We're seeing another issue here. Alright, we're gonna have to figure this one out once again. I do not know why we're having so many issues like this. It's very unusual for sure. Let's see. Alright, we should have that figured out. If not, we might be seeing another rough freestyle run tonight. Alright, good. It looks like Tyler Groff has his difficulties situated. Oh, I might have spoke too soon. There we go. A nice start to the run for Tyler Groff. Tyler, I've always loved his freestyle runs, because although he might not be the craziest driver technically, he is never afraid to get some big air in there, just like that. Love to see some Tyler Groff Velociraptor action. A nice wheelie as well. Full speed ahead. Some more nice hang time. So Tyler Groff, Velociraptor, clearly not afraid to do what needs to be done here. Big air and a nice wheelie. Oh no! He got a little bit too far out there, and he now is battling a flat tire. Now that won't bring the run to an end unless he wants it to, but that's still going to be a really big hassle for him. Nice save regardless though. Tyler Groff and Velociraptor, can he pull off another nice save? He's going to try, but he is not going to succeed. As well as Nick Pagliarulo, he's going to leave about 35 seconds on the clock. But his came to a little bit of a more tough break. And the score for Tyler Groff Velociraptor is a 6.174. 6.174. So, not going to be enough to really top any charts. But it still keeps him out of those bottom spots. So that's something to keep in mind there, as Mike Pagliarulo and Matt Pagliarulo will certainly be sitting at the bottom of the standings coming out of this show. So fans, I hope you all are ready, as this action just keeps on getting more and more riveting as we go on. Still having some interesting struggles, though, with those gearboxes. Really trying to figure out all these little issues that we're having. Again, fans, I really apologize. It's not very common that we have all these issues like this, but I just gotta say, it is so weird that we're having this issue right now. One second here, fans. I think we're figuring out the last of those issues, and we should be back and ready to go here pretty soon. Alright, good news, fans. It looks like all of those issues that we were having have officially been situated. We should be ready to get back into the action, and we should not be having any more of those gearbox issues we've been having. Sorry for that wait, fans, but it's officially time to get back into the action. Coming up next, Dalton Widener and Shell Shocked coming out here representing for Team Throttle Monster. Now, Team Throttle Monster did just hit the freestyle floor with Tyler Groff, but he had a little bit of poor luck as he broke early on. So will they be able to figure things out here with Dalton Widener? Well, that is the goal. And Dalton going nice and big right off the bat. He's looking to make it into his second ever Destruction Series. Oh no. No, man. We just cannot catch a break tonight. Another run ended too soon. Dalton Widener and Shell Shocked. He comes out, goes big right off the bat, rolls it right off the bat, and he's going to be the second driver to not fill the first 30 seconds, making him now last place here in freestyle. So it's crazy how quickly the night for Team Throttle Monster was turned on its head from doing so well to doing so poorly. But maybe this will be the chance for Team Overboard to catch some points back up. And speaking of Team Overboard, they're hitting the track right now. Coming up next, Jamie Garner and Overboard. Hold on, fans. We're having some more of those issues again. Let's see. I'm going to have to try and figure this out. I don't know why this is such a common occurrence today. We should have these trucks back and ready to go here for freestyle. I don't know what's happening, fans. I really couldn't tell you. These trucks are just having some major issues. But we're just going to have to try and roll with our punches here. So we're going to get things going here with Jamie Garner and Overboard. He's just going to go for it. First backflip of the night. Jamie Garner, can he get it back? Yes, he can. So Jamie Garner, despite battling some truck issues, he's just going to go for it as he's kicking off this freestyle run. And he now has set the bar for himself so high. He knows that these scores are going to be coming in, so why not just go for it now and give the fans a show. Oh, wow. Huge air for Jamie Garner. He's going to case that landing a little bit. Fortunately, the whole truck is able to hold up somehow. Some trucks don't take those landings very nicely, but Jamie's chassis are clearly pretty well built. It just holds up like nothing ever happened. More big air in this freestyle, so... Oh my goodness! Oh man! Well, your glory days can't last forever. Jamie Garner going over early. And it's a tough break too, because he really had a good opportunity to become that winner right there, but it only takes one small mistake for that successful night to come to a big close. And right there, that's going to be what happens for Jamie Garner as he gets a little carried away on that van stack and flips over onto his lid. Now, fans, we're continuing on with these gearbox issues, and I seriously could not tell you why that is happening, but the score for Jamie Garner in the overboard is an 8.194. That's going to put him in second place behind Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken. Now, 1 second here, fans. We're really I'm telling you, we are trying to figure out these issues. And I think we might be able to do something here. Alright, we might have this figured out, fans. Again, I do really apologize. This is a very rare error to be having. I do not know why this is happening, but we're going to get back underway here in freestyle. With Tim Hall Jr. and Jurassic Attack. Alright, let's get this going. We're moving into the last few drivers now, so this is where that pressure is really going to be on. Now, if Tim Hall Jr. or really any of these next competitors can perform well, they totally have the door open for them to become the overall event champion and certify themselves in a pretty comfortable spot on the series, but it's really going to come down to whether or not they can get that done. Tim Hall Jr., I will say, off to a great start. Oh man, taking it into a crazy drift right there. He's really trying to push this truck to its limits. I mean, I absolutely respect that for Tim Hall Jr. as he is trying to become that overall champion right now and find his way in Lamar. He might be setting up for that backflip ramp. And an early backflip for Tim Hall Jr. is going to pay off as it is successful. Oh my goodness. Oh, what just happened? Well, that's not going to pay off. He hits that ramp a little too hard. And that front end just snaps in half. Just completely snapped in half. Unbelievable. I'll tell you what, all these trucks out here are having some major issues, and add that one to the list as Tim Hall Jr. causes some serious destruction out there on the track. Now the score to beat Nick Paglia, Rulo, and Kraken at 8.378. The score for Tim Hall Jr. in Jurassic Attack is an 8.668. Put him at the top. Tim Hall Jr. taking the lead. Maybe a bit controversial there, since I will say he didn't get quite as much into that run as some other competitors were able to, but regardless of that, it was still pretty cool to see him throw it down. And we're going to try again to figure out all these issues that we're having. Couldn't tell you why they're happening, but we truly want to figure them all out. And we are still struggling very badly. But we're just going to have to keep this event rolling because we have spent such a long time trying to figure out all these technicalities and just haven't gotten anywhere with it. So we're just going to have to roll with what we have here. As Zach Garner is not able to shift up right now. Looking pretty nice. Might have got that second gear back by now. He's looking pretty fast out there. But it is weird that he's having so much trouble with that gearbox. Huge air for Zach Garner and Wildside. You can tell he's not here to play around. He wants to make it into another BeamNG Destruction series. And quite frankly, I don't blame him. Gonna throw it into some nice reverse action there. I'm gonna get this turned back around, so a lot of pressure for Zach Garner and Wildside. Only 30 seconds into the freestyle, but he's already looking really good. And I keep saying that, you know, these runs are going by, like, I feel like he's already by the end of the run, but he's actually just not even halfway in. So these runs are really, really nice. And as he's filling the clock, he's making sure to keep it entertaining all throughout the run. Zach Garner and Wildside switching things up a little bit there. Is this his big opportunity to find his way at the top of the leaderboard? Oh man, nearly does not make that backflip happen, but I'm glad he was able to. The question now becomes, how is he going to bring this run to a big finish? 30 seconds to go for Zach Garner, and he is on the ragged edge. He is taking that ride on that Wildside, and he is going absolutely wild right now. What else can he do to keep this run alive? Well, he's got 10 more seconds left. He's lining up for it. Huge air. Oh my goodness. Oh, Zach Garner and Wildside. He is going absolutely wild. Time has now expired. So anything else Zach Garner does here is just for the fans. But I mean, after how this show has been going, we're just going to let this keep on running, because I think we could all agree when we say that we want this show to have a little bit more action in it, and Zach Garner's going to let that happen here. Now, it's important as we watch this, though, to keep in mind that everything he's doing right now does not count whatsoever towards his score, and we have to remember what does count towards his score. So something a little different there. Can he get this back? Oh man, there's where his crazy joyride is going to come to an end. Zach Garner and Wildside absolutely burning it down, making the most of the poor situation that we have been in for the past little while there. So I love when drivers are just able to make things happen like that. Zach Garner and Wildside going absolutely haywire. Score to beat 8.668. Tim Hall Jr. Jurassic Attack. The score for Zach Garner Wildside is a 9.257. Put him at the top. Zach Garner by far is now your new leader. Going to be the first score to make it into the nines tonight. Coming up next, only 2 competitors remain. This is Zach Garner's teammate, so he's under pressure to live up to that same level of performance. Please welcome Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl. Now let's see what he can get done here. He's going to take this around, so really a lot to consider here in freestyle. I think it's mostly been a matter of time completion. Drivers like Nick Pagliarulo and Jamie Garner, you know, they had some great wow factors, but they left too much time on the clock. That's where Zach Garner stood out. He stayed consistent. He stayed ragged edge. He stayed full of wow factors while still completing his time. And I think that's the part that's really going to determine whether these drivers are successful or not. Cole Vennard, he's wasting no time. He's only 30 seconds into the run and he's already landed a backflip. Now that's going to be a huge deal for Cole Vennard, because now he basically just has a minute and a half to do whatever he wants and not fear that he hasn't done that, you know, big score move. You know, the backflip is that thing that's really going to bring your score up. Well, now that he has it out of the way, He doesn't have to be afraid to just send it. He can just do whatever he wants and really get some nice points out of it. Huge full send right there. So Cole Vennard, he's trying to live up to what his teammate Zach Garner was just able to do. And I'll tell you what, he might be able to actually surpass what Zach Garner did if he can keep this energy up. Oh, can he get that back? One BKT tire, and he gets it back, and it's going to bring the run to a close. Absolutely exploding the suspension on that final save. Welcome, welcome, people coming into the stream. This is the second to last freestyle, so unfortunately only one more to go after this. But what a crazy move for Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl. So the score to beat right now is that 9.257 from Zach Garner in Wildside. Now, keep in mind, Zach Garner filled time. Cole Vennard did not. The score for Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl is a 9.188. That's going to put him in second place. No, it's not enough for the lead, but yes, that is still a pretty significant score. Like I've been saying all day, every point counts, and that's going to get him some big points. So, Cole Vennard and the Black Pearl, some nice success right there here in the freestyle competition. Fortunately, still having some difficulties here with the gearbox, so these freestyles might not be quite as exciting as normal, but all these drivers are still going to be pushing their trucks to their limits. So Mike Christensen and Vendetta, he's coming out here. He is closing freestyle. And if he can do good enough, let me tell you, he can become that current series leader. And once he's at that point, I mean, his odds are pretty solid of making it onto the big floor. So Mike Christensen and Vendetta just has to stay consistent here in freestyle, and he'll be able to put a big end to his night tonight. Let's see what he's setting up for here. Looks like he got a little bit lost for a second. Going to recover well, and he's giving us some great wheelies in this run. I'll tell you what, we haven't seen many wheelies like that here in freestyle. Finally shedding the hood. Some big air right there as well. So Mike Christensen and Vendetta looking nice and balanced here. Check that out. Huge hang time. Oh, wow. We don't see moves like that from Mike Christensen too often at all. But he's going to show off some technical ability. And I mean, like I've been saying, he's under pressure of potentially becoming that series champion and making it out to Lamar, and maybe even making it to his first ever Destruction Series. So he really is under pressure right now. So it does not surprise me to see him pulling out some things that normally we wouldn't really see from him. Oh man, hard side slap right there. Oh, what a save! Mike Christensen and Vendetta, you can tell he's driving like he really depends on it, and right now he does. Lining up for that backflip. Nails it. Well, what can he do in these last 15 seconds? Because I'll tell you what, huge air. If he can get ahead of Cole Vennard right now in the freestyle scores, he will leave this event as that overall series champion. He is trying to get this back from one side of the truck to the other, back to the other side. The most ragged edge move I have ever seen from Mike Christensen. You can tell he was driving under pressure right there. He just went absolutely wild at the end of that freestyle run. Absolutely amazing work there for that Team Throttle Monster captain as he's trying to get that save, but he got a little too close to the wall and it had to come to an end. Well, fans, it all comes down to this. The score to beat belongs to Zach Garner and Wildside. who is able to put down a 9.257. The score for Mike Christensen and Vendetta is a 9.274, which means your freestyle winner, Mike Christensen, Vendetta. That's going to put him out 28 points tonight, which means your current season leader is Mike Christensen, and Vendetta showing up and showing out for Team Throttle Monster, who quite frankly did not have a great freestyle competition overall. So, very nice there to see some success for Mike Christensen. Well, fans, we have something a little special planned here. As we're going through all these different stops, there are a lot of drivers who did get the opportunity to compete in these events, but there are some drivers who didn't get the opportunity to compete in these events, who we still want to be able to showcase. So as an encore freestyle run, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only David Olfert behind the wheel of the Blockhead. So David Olfert, keep in mind, this guy, he is not competing in any way, shape, or form. He is just coming out here to throw it down as a little bit of an encore. You know, one of the most iconic West Coast drivers there is, so it's no surprise to see him coming out here. And some nice air. This is really his chance to just throw caution to the wind and go for it. Huge right there. David Olfert and Blockhead trying to give you fans a nice high note to leave on after we definitely had some rough luck today. So David Olfert and Blockhead looking nice and great. Taking it around this bend. Oh my goodness! David Olfert and Blockhead, and he's gonna save it! Oh my goodness. Never have I ever seen air that big at a fairground like this. I am blown away. David Olfert and Blockhead, you know, like I was just saying, this is his opportunity to really just throw caution to the wind and go for it, and he absolutely took that opportunity. I mean, he is going absolutely huge from hit to hit, and I don't think we're going to see this run come to an end until that truck literally will not run anymore. Big air right there for the Blockhead. He's eyeing that backflip, and David Olfert's going to nail it. Unbelievable. Huge air again. Man, if only we had a driver who was able to pull off this kind of stuff during freestyle. I mean, it's crazy to me that through all those freestyle runs, there were only two that would even come close to comparing with this, yet David Olfert just comes out here after not hitting the track all day and is just able to absolutely burn it down like this. A true testament of a good driver. Oh my goodness. You have got to be kidding me. Take a look at that. David Olfert and the Blockhead just came out here, sent it as hard as possible, and completely destroyed. I mean, these shocks are hanging out. The coil's just completely gone. There's a broken tie rod up here, broken 4-link bar over here, a bent sway bar up front. Absolutely unbelievable. That is what it is all about here at this little new tour that we're trying out. So fans, right now Mike Christensen and Vendetta has 28 points, putting him in the lead for this series, and currently putting him as the projected winner of the Fall Brawl Series West. We still have plenty of events left to come for both West and East before that big event in Lamar. So don't fear. If your favorite driver is not performing well right now, they still have some time to make it up. But Zach Garner, Cole Vennard, Tim Hall Jr., Mike Christensen, they're all looking wonderful coming out of today, and they're going to be those drivers you have to watch out for. Well, fans, that's all we have for you today. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing event that just took place. There's plenty more to come as we prepare for that 2026 season, but this is